LeBron James, once again, using his platform to promote equality, literally, as seen on his shoes. So here's what the Cleveland Cavaliers tweeted out. This is the first one, as you see, bottom right, at Cavs on Twitter. It says equality on his heel, a black sneaker, and a white sneaker. And then he took to the gram as well to say this: together we will persevere through all adversity, negativity, and turn it into happiness and love. And 2 solid hashtags as well. So they took on the Washington Wizards, real quick. They took on the Washington Wizards in DC. They ended up beating the Washington Wizards. I believe the final score was like 110-94 or something like that on Sunday. The most controversial thing that happened was that J.R. Smith pushed Kelly Oubre Jr. and then Kelly Oubre started doing push-ups, which I love, because J.R. Smith was like, "All right, fuck you, whatever," and he just walked away. So here's what LeBron James had to say about wearing those sneakers in the nation's capital.
Well, being in obviously we know where we are right now, and we know who's at the helm here. And but, you know, us as Americans, no matter the skin color, no matter the race, no matter who you are, I think we all have to understand that, you know, having equal rights and being able to stand for something and speak for something and keeping the conversation going, you know, and obviously I've been very well, you know, outspoken and well spoken about the situation that's going on at the helm here, and we're never going to let one person dictate us as Americans how beautiful and how powerful we are as a people. So, you know, equality is all about, you know, understanding our rights, understanding what we stand for, and how powerful we are as men and as women, black or white and Hispanic, no matter your race, whatever the case may be. This is a beautiful country, and we're never going to let one person dictate how beautiful and how powerful we are.
So there you hear it from LeBron James. Obviously, the one thing that we point to is not only, again, as I preface the story, using his platform for the greater good, but also doing it in DC because we know who is obviously holding office right now, and just sending a message to him.
Yeah, it's continued to use his platform as obviously the most talked about figure in his sport. The controversies surrounding football is happening all this year, and then, you know, people can shove Colin Kaepernick to the side because he's not playing right now. So I'm glad that it's picking up in other areas, and LeBron has been on this for a while, so it's nothing new.
Well, remember with Trayvon Martin when he was with Miami?
The entire team put their hoodies up, and then they're wearing some shirts.
I can't breathe.
So they went after different things that were happening. So this isn't new. So when, of course, I was looking at some of the response just because the
to his comment
as that comment was posted on, I think it was USA Today sports writer. As it was posted, of course, I'm looking on Twitter to see some of the response, and it's like, oh, he's just looking for attention because LeBron James doesn't get any attention because no one talks about him. He's looking for relevancy. Anyway, and
wait, was that? Hang on. Was that the writer, or was that
no, these are responses on Twitter.
Okay.
So I just want to get a general gauge. I understand Twitter, so I know people may say.
I was going to say, that writer is probably with Fox News or something if he's writing shit like that.
All he did was post and say LeBron's comments about his shoes. And so, again, it's the message is equality, not one over another, but it's just right now in our country, and he said, who's at the helm? Someone's like, why don't you say his name? We know who he's talking about.
Real quick, if they could bleep it out in Broad City, great show. Like they do not say Donald Trump. Whenever they say it, they bleep it out the entire time. So let's have a double standard there, shall we?
Yeah, exactly. So just if his message is just equality, and we as Americans, outside of this one person who's dividing a lot of us, can get together and let's show how we really are, I don't see where the anger in that message can possibly be. I can see the anger in your in response to his messages, again with his team about Trayvon Martin, about Eric Gardner. I can see your anger in that because you just don't like black folks. So you can say that loud and proud. Or you like police killing innocent people. Cool, that's your stance, be proud of it. But the general stance of, there's obviously a man who's running our country, who is out to divide and is very self-serving and only cares about himself and the close people around him. For someone to say, I just want the rest of Americans to understand that and stay is who we are, I don't understand where that's a problem. And if you have a problem with it, just say, I like a divided America where we have hierarchies and we serve just the top
where we
folks.
like the North and the South, you know,
And just say it, so don't be mad and go, what's this guy doing? He's just speaking what we always have taught our children what America's supposed to be.
Okay, so I'm just curious. When you were going through a lot of these comments, and we're not going to show them because I don't want to exemplify, you know, the idiocy and lunacy that people have on social media. Were these the comments to the Cavs' tweet?
It was the comments to
the USA Today article?
The USA Today writer posted that video that we just watched.
Okay.
Him talking.
Oh, and then the comments followed. Okay.
So they were talking about his comments.
Gotcha. So how I view this, and I agree with everything that you said, how I view this is everyone is going to, once again, try to crucify LeBron James for anything that they possibly can. And we could go through everything from the Arthur memes to, oh, well, look at his hairline, to, oh, I can't believe that he can't close in the fourth quarter when he was starting out with the Miami Heat. And granted, they put a target on their own back with like the smoke screens and not 4, not 5.
I liked it though. It was fun.
Of course you did. But like, that's besides the point.
So like, was right up my alley.
So my point being is we are always, not we, let me take that back. Haters of LeBron are always going to try and find a way to put him down because he's almost imperfect. He is a physical stature who is playing a game like, sort of like Julio Jones on steroids playing in the NFL. Like, they just don't belong because of their size, their stature, and their gifted ability through a ton of hard work as well to be able to unseat so many in the past. So once something like this comes about, we're learning the true colors of people who are against it, but also at the same time, people are just looking for something to get mad at him about.
Yeah, it's these people who don't watch the game or any of that stuff either. So these are just people who want to have something negative to say.
So what do you think about, and like I said, just devil's advocate here, what do you think about the fact that every time LeBron James does speak up, it does become a bit of a profit? These shoes are for sale. The I Can't Breathe shirts were for sale. The wristbands he wears, the shirts, any given thing that he endorses is for sale. And I have to say, I look up to Colin Kaepernick a little bit more because it came with sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like it kind of speaks wonders when you are fighting for the greater good in spite of being taken from personally.
Good question, but do you view Kaepernick in a different light because he got ousted from his league, whereas LeBron James has that privilege of not being ousted?
Right. I guess that's the crux of the difference here.
Yeah.
Because Kaepernick would have signed a contract.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He even said that he would take a backup role. I know that reports were, muddy a little bit.
But Colin Kaepernick's not an unintelligent dude. He definitely knew that was a possible consequence of his actions and still stuck through. And they gave him warnings too. They gave him warnings. Hey, you're not gonna have a place to play if you keep kneeling. And despite that, he stayed true to his morals.
So I think part of it being it's different leagues.
I was gonna say that too.
The NBA,
is so
the NBA
liberal.
Realizes how much they can't oust their black player. NFL still thinks they can because they think their fan base dislikes him that much. But the NBA fan base, they know, loves LeBron.
Right, so I think it would even be easier for LeBron to then take a stand. If LeBron sat out, if LeBron said, no, I'm not playing any more games until we have a real conversation about racial inequality in this country, I'm not saying that's the right answer or the wrong answer, but that's a lot different than Colin Kaepernick, where there's 32 NFL teams, all of them have 2 quarterbacks, that's 64 dudes that he's now taken out of the pool of. There's one LeBron James. He is the king. He is the National Basketball Association.
But here's the thing. Does he have the luxury of being able to do it because he's the best player in his respective league? Of course. But it still takes balls to do something like this.
Yeah,
and he should be celebrated for doing it and still taking a stand and using his platform.
Does it take balls though?
Yes,
it does because yes. I think we talked about it last week. LeBron, last Friday, LeBron has this desire to be an icon in pop culture, sports, everything, and that's post-career stuff, post-basketball playing career stuff. So I think him doing this is also jeopardizing later things, later endorsements, later people working with him. If people don't like what he's saying, and how dare you criticize my president? He works with people that have money, and those people with money generally probably like the guy who's doing things for them because he's catering to those same people. So
right, but it's so I don't know, and I guess I am nitpicking here. I will admit, but it's so dismissible. This story isn't going to be a story for another 2 weeks. This is
which
a new
story?
The equality shoes.
Oh.
we're going to look at the shoes, say, oh, that's awesome, and keep it moving. It doesn't really progress the conversation. So in that sense, yeah, I think it is kind of an easy move.
Well, like it's wore the shoes and then he said something. So he's having the conversation as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And here's the other thing. Like, no matter what, once again, like, we're going to nitpick and be like, oh, well, he's afforded that luxury and what have you. It still takes balls to take a stance when all the owners in your respective league are white. Your commissioner's white. The people in charge are white. And you're starting to question, like, my own personal opinion, I feel like a majority of owners across all sports leagues in America, if they have the citizenship, obviously, which they do because they're owners in this league, they voted for Trump. I have to think that a lot of them did. So when they see somebody like Colin Kaepernick or LeBron James, you think they don't get pissed?
I just don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think you can have the balls to do something, and it's like a commendable thing. But also, we can recognize that there is a profit in this. This is a shoe for sale now. This is a struggle for sale now.
I think it's a fair perspective to have. However, if you're in it for the greater good, and you being, I mean, Scottie Pippen even said it. I don't believe he's there, but the best basketball player of all time who unseated Michael Jordan, and you're still standing up for stuff like this, that's important. Because you know what MJ didn't do? That.
No, like I said, I'm not saying it's not important. I just don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think it's worth looking at that this, while being a great stand, is also financially beneficial for LeBron James. And like you said, the NBA is a largely liberal league, not the owners, but the supporters, the fans, and the players themselves. It's a largely liberal league. I think LeBron, knowing that he'd have support on something like this, it definitely affects the way you operate. You know, I think it's worth acknowledging that he is a businessman at the end of the day, and he is acknowledging what endorsements he can and can't lose, and he's playing his cards accordingly. I have kind of an utmost respect for Colin Kaepernick that said, damn the endorsements, damn my teams, damn the opportunities I could get, regardless of the profits, I'm going to do what's right. I think it's worth, I don't know.
It's a fair perspective to have. Everybody in the comments, let us know your thoughts as well, where exactly you stand. Thank you.